Well, hey fans, welcome back to the 4th annual JanuScary special, and today we're talking about MaXXXine. So MaXXXine is a slasher film written, directed, produced, and edited by Ty West. It is the third entry in his X film series, and it stars Mia Goth, Elizabeth Debicki, Michelle Monaghan, Halsey, Bobby Cannavale, Giancarlo Esposito, and Kevin Bacon. And this film is set 6 years after X, and it follows Maxine Minx. She is a really popular adult film star in Hollywood, and she finally lands the chance to star in a mainstream horror film called The Puritan 2. She lands the role, but after she gets the part, she gets a tape showcasing her the events of the first movie she was in, X, and the friends around her began being killed off one by one. So I really enjoyed Ty West's X. I thought it was a nice callback to the 80s horror film. There was a lot of blood and raunchiness and silliness and goofiness that just made for a fun horror film. The follow-up, Pearl, was not really my cup of tea, but we did get our future Superman out of it in David Cornsweet. And now with this one, MaXXXine, I kind of had the same feelings that I had towards Pearl towards this one. I think there are many aspects of the film that are shot well. I like all of the actors that he cast. Just some of the story beats that he chose to execute in this, I was not a fan of. The first thing I'll admit that I did like, I love the way that he tied this movie back to the first film in the series, picking up on Easter eggs that he left in that film as to what the potential villain of this movie would be. And I think the choice to do that was done well. I just wish he had executed it better. Kevin Bacon's character, who is sort of a nemesis to Maxine Minx in this film, I thought that Kevin Bacon did a good job portraying him. He is really portrayed as such like an asshole type character, but an asshole who's really just doing his job. And when it comes down to it, what happens to this character in the movie, I just did not feel was fair. I understand how they could have gotten into that situation to make that choice, but when it was happening, it did not feel right to me. It did not feel like justice of any kind. And I just thought that they should not have gone that route in that character's end, so to speak. And it's not just that character's end. There are a lot of decisions made in this movie that I just don't think are smart in general by the good guys and the bad guys. And it just kind of leads to this just, there's like no accountability. And maybe it's just the time and place that this movie is set. And that's why that is. I don't find it just, overall, I guess this movie wasn't fun. Like the first X movie, yeah, there were horrific things happening and there was a lot at stake, but it was fun. You could laugh a little bit as well in the horror. And this one, it's just like a regular beat by beat slasher that I feel like he just made because he had an obligation to end this story. And I just feel like they could have done better. And there is some kind of connection they try to make with like the Night Stalker, like the real life Night Stalker killer who is killing people all over the West Coast. They try to make some kind of connection to that, and you feel like, oh, the Night Stalker is going to be the killer in this movie. And no, that's just apparently just happening at the same time and has nothing to do with the plot of this movie other than that he's on the news. So I just felt that was a weird thing to put in here and not to tie into the rest of the story. But overall, like I said, I feel like this series has had declining results with each film. I think the first film was lightning in a bottle, and although he shot Pearl like at the same time, he failed to recapture that magic to me. I still think Ty West is a great director, and I'd like for him to move on to a different horror series and just kind of leave this X series at a trilogy. And while Mia Goth is fine in the role of Maxine Minx again, to me it felt like she sort of bored with the role and only returned, like I said, to also fill out some type of obligation in this series. I don't feel like her heart was in it as much as like the first movie or even Pearl. I think she gave a lot of herself in those first two movies, and in this one she was kind of done but came back anyway. I think Mia Goth is a scream queen, and I'll be happy to see her move on to a different horror series after this, and it will work out well. So in terms of a score, I'd probably give MaXXXine a solid 5 out of 10. Like I said, it's not really bad, but it is not the ending I imagined for this character. And I kind of just wish we started and ended with X as a one-film series. That is probably what I think would have been best. I'd like to thank you guys again for joining me for the 4th annual JanuScary special. Unfortunately, I was going to have a lot more movies to talk to you about this month, but like I said at the beginning, sickness got into the house and I got late started. Now sickness is back and I am sick again if you can't tell. So I'll probably be able to get one more of these out for you this month. And there's only a few days left in the month. And that will probably be the end of it this year. Remember, you can find the full review on YouTube and the website, flipfrogllc.com/flicksfrog. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And please, pretty please, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.